What is up, everybody? It's your boy Duty back again with another video, and this time we're taking a look at DSP's view count for the month of September and doing a comparison over the last 6 months. You guys know every month, the beginning of the upcoming month, I take a look at Phil's views on both the DSPReact and DSP Gaming, and I'll also take a look at his monthly financial numbers to see how the liquidity and the fluidity is occurring on Phil's channel. So real quick, so I pulled the view count numbers from socialblade.com, which is a really good site for seeing subscriber count and viewership count day to day, and actually taking a look at a monthly picture. All the other stuff, the money, all that's wrong, but view count, sub counts, it's pretty accurate, and I know because I use it to compare my numbers off of what I'm getting off my YouTube analytics, and it does match. So real quick, as you can see here, let me blow this up here. Alrighty, as you can see here, the first thing I'm going to take a look at are Phil's financial numbers. That's right, and let's take a look at April. Well, let's look at April. Why not? So in April of 2023, Phil pulled in $4,658 for the month. That's just super chats and tips alone. That's it. So that was a pretty low mark for Phil there. And then in May, that was when Jinx and Street Fighter and all that stuff kind of kicked off, and Phil did pretty well. He pulled in $6,879, and then the beginning of the summer, that's where things started to dip significantly for Phil. Mind you, don't forget, I've been reporting out, his numbers all year have been utter trash. He's like 17% year over year on what he's getting for income. So as you can see here, the summer really accentuated that. So in June, he pulled in $5,765, so a decrease of almost $1,000. July was even worse. July, he pulled in $4,007. And then in August was rock bottom. Phil pulled in $3,386. And of course, at the beginning of September, that's where Phil decided to do his beg alert, his begcon, and asked the Dents to support. He started daily goes, and it kind of paid off for Phil. I'll give it to Phil. It did pay off for him. Even though he didn't do any special marathons, he managed to pull in $5,186 for September. So an increase of roughly about $1,800 more in tips and super chats, and most of it was in tips. So if you look at the $1,800, 4 weeks of him streaming, he essentially made 4 weeks 18. That's an equivalent of, hold on one second here, I just kind of want to do so if he made 1,800 for, that was an increase of about $450 extra a week in tips and super chats. So the begging did work. I'll give Phil that. So the whales did hear it, and they came out and supported Phil. Although that 5,186 mark is super low. So if you compare what Phil made in September of last year, 2022, he made $6,900. So he, even with the begging and the asking for support, Phil still made $1,800 less this September than he did last September. And that's critical because we know that September is the start of the hardcore gaming and begging season for Phil. So yeah, I mean, I've been saying this for a while. His support is rock bottom. It's pretty bad. And in October, I don't see it getting any better. I mean, he may be pulling the same amount of numbers that he did in September, but we'll have to see. I don't want to jump ahead. So the thing that I did want to look at is, I know a lot of people wonder how does he do with ad revenue. And to be honest, his ad revenue is dog shit, but a lot of it is because of the content. The content's just not good whatsoever. So even though Phil managed to make more money in tips and super chats, he got way less views in September. So let's take a look at the numbers. So in May, for both DSP Gaming and DSPReact, Phil managed to pull 687,000 views. That's bad. For a channel that has over 200,000 subs, to be getting 687,000 views is garbage. You have to remember, over 2 years ago, Phil was pulling close to 1 million views. And by the way, your boy Duty actually makes double that, more than double, than Phil. And I'm a channel that only has 13,000 subs. So, and you have to think, Phil has a library over 70,000 videos, and he can only manage to pull in 687,000 views. In June, it got worse. He made 648,000. In July, even worse, 607,000. And then in August, it bumped up a little bit, but not by much. He was playing GTA, I think, so he got a little extra bump there. And then I think he focused more on DSP gaming and not as much on DSPReacts. I think that helped him a bit. So he pulled in 623,000. Now let's look at September. Drum roll. Phil managed to pull in a whopping 588,000 views. And again, that's DSP Gaming and DSPReacts. That's both channels. That is bad. That's horrendous. That's a sign of a dying channel. It just shows that it's bad. I know there was someone on I think TBS that he tracks Phil's content and how many views per like older videos versus newer videos, and he averages out, and it's not good for Phil. The numbers are just terrible. You would think with that amount of videos in your channel, you would be getting residual views that would help you bump those numbers up, and just you can tell no one's watching it at all. No one's watching the old content, and no one's watching the new content. So again, for a channel that has over 200,000 subscribers and has been around for 15 years, to only be pulling 588,000 views is, yeah, just bad. It's bad for Phil. So yeah, so I just wanted to report out, being that it was the end of the month and we did get all of the figures. So we know for tips and super chats, Phil managed to increase it by he ended up with 5,186 bucks. So an increase of about $1,800. But comparing that to last year, it's a decrease of $1,800. So he still has a lot of room to make up when it comes to making the kind of money that he was pulling in last year. I don't even want to look at 2001 because the numbers were even worse. Just every year you can consistently see that he's losing money and viewership. And then for views, I mean, 6 months ago he was pulling 687,000 views, and now he can't even get over 600,000 views. He's pulling in 588,000 views. I mean, again, I'm a content creator, or content creator, curator, there you go, that has only 13,000 subs, and I use Phil's content, and I managed to pull in more than double than what he does. So that's not patting myself in the back. That's just showing how pathetic Phil's content is. So if he wants to die on the sword of being a curated content creator, okay, Phil, this is what it's going to buy you. It's going to buy you, 500,000 views a month. And yeah, and I don't see any changing that whatsoever. It just, again, shows that, I mean, look at DSPReact. DSPReact went from 90,000 views back in May to 52,000 views. The only thing he has on that channel is the weekly internet show, which he breaks up into like nine separate videos. No one watches that. No one does, Phil. No one wants to watch a react that you do on Sunday, you cutting it up into pieces, and then the last bits of pieces that you show are at the end of the week. No one cares. No one does it. I mean, no one does if you post all of it on the same day. You just make it even worse when you try to restrict that content and try to force people to become members. It just doesn't work, Phil. So anyway, those are the numbers. I expect October to probably be about the same. It is the hardcore gaming season, so maybe, financial, money-wise, he may make about the same or a little bit more. But view counts, I see it dipping again. So, and again, I've talked about this. His viewership base is extremely low as well. I mean, he has a couple hundred people that follow his content, and that's it. So, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace out.